And we're here today with Rosie Segui at the Little Burgundy Employment Center, and we're going to be talking today about interview tips, what to do before, during, and after the interview. So can we talk a little bit about some fundamentals, some things to remember, Rosie?
Sure. I think one of the most important things is to be on time. There's a saying that if you're 10 minutes early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're already late. Keep that in mind. Another point is to shake the employer's hand. It's very important to show that enthusiasm without being overly enthusiastic.
Great. And in terms of keeping things positive, is there something that you could tell us to keep things not necessarily too negative and keep things the focus on the positive?
Right. Remember to smile. Well, it's always important to look like you're in a good mood and you're happy to be there. Keeping in mind that the employer or the interviewer has several other people to meet with, so he's probably just as nervous as you are.
I didn't know that. And in terms of stress, how can we minimize stress, since the interview is already very stressful, but how can we minimize that?
I think it's very important when you get there early to take the time to breathe, to think about what you're going to say. Researching the company before you've actually had the interview is fundamental. It's key, because this way you'll be able to anticipate some of the questions that are going to be asked of you and to answer appropriately.
Great. That's really good advice, actually. In terms of showing interest and being honest to the employer during the interview, what can we talk about in terms of that?
Well, I think this is your opportunity to shine and allow the employer to know who you are. So it's very important to know the name of the employer, so that when you meet him and you greet him, you have a sense of familiarity without being too familiar. Try to be confident or appear confident. Sit up without sitting up too straight, but never slouch.
Great. And do you have anything else to add about these interview skills? Some last minute tips?
No, just remember to give good eye contact, thank the employer. Perhaps after the interview you could follow up in a day or two with a thank you note. And again, remember the interviewer's name.
And can you tell us a little bit about mastering languages? What if we're not comfortable in French or English, but we have some other language skills?
It's very important to let the employer know that you do have another language that you speak. And if it is French or English, depending on what the interview is in, it's important to demonstrate that by perhaps going back and forth, maybe a little bit of English, a little bit of French, without showing off, but allowing him to see that you do have these skills.
So it actually can be an asset to the company.
It's a definite asset.
Okay. And just lastly, are you allowed to ask questions during the interview?
Yes, but one of them shouldn't be about salary. Unless the employer brings it up. It's very important. A lot of times they'll ask you what your salary range or request is, and if you've done your homework, you will be able to give a range without sounding like you're demanding a specific amount.
And you should definitely, I guess, wait till the end of the interview, or should you wait till the employer asks you?
Wait till the employer brings it up. If you look as though, or the interview goes as though you think you're going to get the job, it wouldn't hurt to ask, but again, don't be demanding and depend on a specific amount. Give yourself some range.
Great. Well, that's really positive interviewing skills to bring to the table. Thank you so much for your time, Rosie. If people do have other questions, just want to remind everybody that we do have our website, www.lbec.org. It's our e-learning portal. As well, we can direct people to drop by the center at the Little Burgundy Employment Center. Can people call you if they have any questions to join the program, or?
Yes, or just on some information. I could be reached at 514-989-2155.
Thank you so much, Rosie.
Thank you.